doing, all you toy fans? And welcome to our 17th episode of Talking Toys. I'm Brock Lauer.
And I'm Kyle Walters.
And today's topic we'll be talking about are blind box toys and Legos, the company, and just discussing how far they've come and also what they're doing today. We'll also be discussing updates. Just a quick reminder, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Talking Toys on YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, and we'll also be getting an Instagram account getting up and ready for you guys, because why not have another platform for social media?
Amen. 'Tis 2020.
So we'll run a couple updates by you, but yeah, just hit that like, subscribe, and if you want to comment, that's fine. Tell us what you like, if you agree or disagree with us. Tell us what's going on, what you're looking forward to in the toy world. A little bit if it sounds a little different today, we're at Kyle's place. We usually do the recording in my room. So if it sounds slightly different, that's because we're in his basement. Decided to come down here, and he decided to show me his collection, which is always impressive.
In beautiful Medina, Ohio.
Yeah, so we are recording.
It's in the light, as we all know, there's always a new figure to get, and it's constantly growing.
Just make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on our channel, YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, and Instagram. If you're new to the channel, this is a toy podcast and channel about toy collecting conversations, collecting toys, collectibles, statues, figures, Legos, Playmobil, blind box figures, imports.
Oh yeah, and then just even like within specific genres, I know for me, like I love DC with an emphasis on Batman. I love Marvel with an emphasis on Spider-Man. And then I have an obsession with Dragon Ball Z, all that stuff, and then Gundam. And then after that, you find just some awesome little random things. Like I love the Sentinel Ronin Warriors figures. There's been some really cool McDonald's figures.
Yeah, the fast food toys.
Yeah,
We talk about all that, folks.
little bit of everything. Even Hot Toys, some of the higher end figures and whatnot.
Right. So if this is your first episode, welcome. It is fun to talk about. We have like this conversation in the toy community about just anything action figures, anything toys, Legos, whatever you feel comfortable talking about. Feel free to comment about what your favorite thing is, what you like about some certain stuff, maybe what you don't like. That's what separates us from other channels. We're a little bit more critical on just certain toys and certain things that are made, but we also like a lot of stuff. So we're not just critical, but we also like critique our certain things. And
I think more so than anything, I think we're fair because I'm sure some toy designers are sensitive, but at the end of the day, from my perspective, as someone who's about to get his first degree in business next semester, is in business, criticism is good.
Yeah, and competition.
Yeah, because Gordon Ramsay even said when he doesn't want positive feedback, he wants negative feedback more so than anything, because then it lets him know how he can be a better chef, how he can be a better restaurateur, etc. And at the end of the day, we're all fans, and even, I feel like in order to be a really good toy designer, you also have to be a fan. So I think it's always a good thing for fans to be like, hey, what do we want? Because then that's how you get really cool stuff, because fans were like, hey, we'd love a Peter Parker. Boom, Hasbro gives you a Peter Parker. Then even when Mattel had the DC license, when they came out of nowhere with that beautiful Alfred figure,
yeah.
And then Funko's doing the Marvel Zombies, which I hope Hasbro eventually does. And then, there's been the re-releases of Android 17, Android 18 for SH Figuarts from Bandai Spirits, and it's just the list goes on and on.
Yeah, so just make sure to be a part of the channel. You're more than welcome to be a part of it. Comment. Trying to get more likes and subscribers for our channel. You fans do make the difference, and you're the reason why we do this. But now moving on to updates. Thought we'd refresh you guys on what updates have happened since our last episode. So this is we're in November. So one of the things that was released recently is the new Marvel Legends vintage J. Jonah Jameson Marvel Legends figure with the Daily Bugle newspaper, and you can get two kinds with two alternate hands. One where the Daily Bugle is rolled up, and the other one where it's actually like showing a front page of Spider-Man. Quick thoughts on that?
Yes, 100%. I want it. I'm very excited. I want them to just continue. My dream Spider-Man retro figure right now is a, Scorpion, like that old Toy Biz one from Spider-Man Classics.
Yeah.
I've held off on getting that one, and even though the Scorpion they released is fine, and I have it and I like it,
Yeah.
I just like lighter green Scorpion instead of darker green, and I like lighter green with the stripes instead of the darker green. That's for me. That's it. And then when am I gonna finally get my Smythe? I've been wanting a Smythe for the longest time, as you know, and they no one's released a Smythe since what, '96 when Toy Biz did it, and they even released a beautiful Smythe vehicle, and I want a Smythe, Brock.
You keep saying that. It's like the 6th time on the show you've said that.
I
You'll
have.
probably get one. I can't imagine you not getting one.
I'm gonna say it until Hasbro listens. In Pawtucket, Rhode Island, I hope they're tuning in. I want my freaking Smythe.
Well, they're also making that new Cyborg Spider-Man that didn't get any like press release. It just kind of just came out.
The weird black and white suit Spider-Man that didn't get press release.
Yeah, that was another one. That was the Negative Suit Spider-Man both Spider-Mans, the Cyborg and Negative Suit Spider-Mans, are in stores now. Didn't get a press release, so they just showed up in stores. And then you also another figure that got the press release is that vintage Black Cat from the animated series. Which looks better. I mean, I don't know if I'll get it. I'm kind of on the fence about it because I got the other one where she has a big chest, which is I like that one. It's my favorite one so far.
The funny thing though is I remember when the Cyborg one first came out because that was the first one that where pictures surfaced. A lot of toy pages that I follow, they were like, "Is this just a really good custom, or is this like
Right, because
real?"
people don't know.
Yeah, and I was surprised because even though Mysterio is my favorite Spider-Man villain, they showed Mysterio a lot of love, they showed Kingpin a lot of love, but then these last two they just didn't. I know me personally, I probably won't get either.
Okay.
But what about you?
I mean, the Cyborg one's cool in detail. Actually, they show him make it in that show I told you to watch, that Marvel 616 on Disney Plus, where they actually show you what goes into making a Marvel Legend.
Oh, cool.
And also Pop Funkos. I highly recommend it. It's the episode called Unboxed. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably pass on them just because I'm really trying to cut back on just the ones I really want, because they're probably going to make a whole bunch of them more. Some of the ones I did just get are the Kingpin Retro. I got the Green Goblin recently. I got Wolverine Marvel Legends with that jacket and Mystique. And I also got the Magneto Xavier movie 2-pack. Those are the ones that recently, because I've just been finding a lot of great deals online, especially now between Black Friday and Christmas and stuff like that. You're going to find a lot of great figure deals.
Yeah, my two favorite companies right now, easily. I think Bandai's killing it. Obviously, you're not an anime fan though.
Yeah.
But I think Bandai's killing it, and I think Hasbro is killing it still. Even with their Star Wars, like I haven't opened it yet, but you saw the Ewok figure I got. It looks good sculpted, and then
And I just got Count Dooku. That was
yeah. Do you like it?
His face sculpt's really good.
Because
It's shockingly like one of the best face sculpts from an actor I've seen.
Because I really like his import a lot from Figuarts. But I mean, shoot, I might get both. And then I also got this Luke Skywalker Yoda Jedi training,
Yeah.
and it's amazing how far they've come. Because when they released that first wave, way back when, I loved the Darth Maul, I loved the R2D2, but some of the humans were in desperate need of 3D face sculpting, and since they've introduced it, like I think this Luke looks pretty solid to Mark Hamill, and I think they've done a really, really good job. I know for me, one figure I need to get that I procrastinate on because I remember you told me it's an Amazon exclusive, but
Yeah.
I still really want that Chewbacca with the messed up C-3PO.
Oh yeah.
Where he's in
Yeah.
pieces.
That was an Amazon exclusive, yeah.
I need to eventually get that because I think my favorite figure right now from Star Wars that I have, whether including my imports and whatnot, is Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was going to say Dark Sidious, which I guess is technically the same thing, but I'm so angry. As figure collectors, we can attest to having impatience, but I bought the other Emperor Palpatine before that, which I don't care about anymore because once and people, it was funny because I thought about getting a 3D printed chair, because they were selling them on eBay. And then I remember as soon as Hasbro announced that, I was like, that's, you were patient and I was not, and I was like, man, I would have loved to save $20, but obviously,
It pays the weight because here's another update. The Target exclusive deluxe Mandalorian figures coming out now with the child little crib that floats, the Mandalorian in his Beskar armor, and he has like guns and stuff like that.
it looks nice.
It's a nice deluxe, and it's great if you're someone like me, and it's not like I wanted to wait. I just couldn't find a Mandalorian figure, and that was when I was going up and down the state of Michigan. You were in Florida that like whole month.
Right.
I couldn't find a Mandalorian figure, and like I haven't even found like the first type. Not that I want it, but like I didn't see the first type. I haven't seen the Beskar series. I haven't found like
Or the
hardly.
carbonized.
Yeah, I haven't found like any Mandalorian figures alone. I'm just talking about like not just the waves, but I'm talking about just the Mandalorian figure. So I'm like really happy that we're getting that deluxe because like there's still a lot of people that don't have a Mandalorian figure like me. I'm
And
like, okay, fine, I'll get the one.
I mean, shoot, the only Mandalorian figure I have right now is my Figuarts one, and the funny thing is,
Yeah,
I think it's fine, but for a Figuarts compared to like what it could be, it has some really annoying things about it. The Figuarts one I have sold out like that. They had a deluxe Figuarts one with like weapons and shit,
yeah,
and that one sold out like that. But Hasbro's doing some really cool things because also next year in March or May through May or something like that, maybe June, somewhere in there.
yeah.
They're coming out with that deluxe Boba Fett too. So I think people are going to be really excited with what Hasbro's pushing because they're pushing a lot of good shit.
Yeah, kind of redundant. I know if like people were angry, there was a lot of backlash on like, why are you making another Mandalorian? How could you do this to collectors with the deluxe? It's like, yeah, you all bought them all, pretty much, and a lot of people still don't have the figure, and it's like, well, I waited anyway. I didn't want to wait, but I'm like, fine, I had to wait, and I'm like, I got the deluxe anyway. The only thing I'd say bad about that deluxe figure is that the Pedro Pascal head, it doesn't look that great.
Well, yeah, and the funny thing is, it's like Talker Art has said before when I've watched his YouTube videos, like basically the reason, he's like basically people are gonna buy it regardless.
Right.
Like the Spider-Man, I'm a huge Mysterio fan, so the Spider-Man figure, the updated version, is even better than the one I have. But at the same time, for the most part, it's just a repaint. But I'm gonna buy it, and that's why Hasbro keeps doing this stuff. And even like the Super Scroll Build-A-Figure, I still want that. But the funny thing is, I guarantee they're going to just release him as a single carded figure in the same way they released Kingpin and Giant Man. They're going to just do it. So I haven't necessarily cared to go out of my way to buy the different pieces.
I have because I like the rendition, but I know what you're saying because I think they are going to probably make that same rendition. They have the molding and stuff. They're just going to like, oh, make him a deluxe. And it's like, all right. Like they did with the Thanos. Oh, there was another update is that Children of Thanos 5-pack. I want to say 5. Is it 5 figures? Children of Thanos.
I thought there were only 4 Children of Thanos.
There's 4 plus him. So that's 5-pack.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so there's Thanos, Corvus Glaive, Ebony Maw. Yeah, we said this last episode.
Thanos, Corvus Glaive, Ebony Maw, Proxima Midnight.
And the new Cull Obsidian.
We always forget
that one. Yeah, so
Proxima
Midnight. I see why people like there are more disappointed and like or angry, I should say. And I get it. It's just it comes with the territory. So timing is everything when it comes to collecting, which we don't talk about on this podcast a whole lot. But timing does matter, and where should I wait or is it going to be repop? And then the repop's better than the regular, so it's like weird. But then again, there's an advantage, Kyle. There's always an advantage because you could sell the old one, sell it to a small business, toy shop,
right? Or even a collect, like you said, the new Electro Marvel Legends. You and I both have it. It's a great figure. And you had the old one at one point. It's kind of funny how the market fluctuates with figures because the old Electro at one point, people including myself were like, damn, we missed out on that. And it shot up in price to like $45, $50.
Yeah.
But then when the new one came out, it made that almost obsolete. But then you were able to sell it to a collector for $10, and Marvel Legends only cost $20, so you were able to recoup 50% of your original cost and then put that towards other things.
Okay, so when it comes with selling stuff with me, it's more along the lines of if it's in the package, sell it for around the same price you bought it for, at least like 20. I mean, I could see maybe that $20 to $25 range.
Right.
But if you're charging 30 to 35 to $40 for an unopened figure, that's ridiculous. Give me a break. But
Right. It would have to be something special, like a vintage Mego, or like how I got this
right.
really rare
Or
tin
if
toy,
it's
man.
right, or it's a super exclusive or something like that. Like FYI, I went to Kid Force Collectibles, great toy shop in Berea, Ohio. I recommend it to all the people that are in the area to go there, and the guy's really nice. Also, if you're an out of towner, I also recommend it. He has a bunch of action figures and cards, and he has pinball machines and everything. But I said I brought in that like white black widow you got for me, and I said, hey, if you want it, if you want it, you could. I'll trade it with something I want in the store. And he looked at it, he didn't want it. That was fine. Like I wasn't like offended or anything. He's like, no, thank you. I'm like, okay, well, if I was gonna bring it to a place, I'd bring it here because I know you guys sell
Right.
Marvel Legends. So he didn't want it, but that's fine. So I ended up buying a Count Dooku action figure. And also, by the way, he has tons of the
I
Mysterios.
remember you telling me that. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
definitely need to eventually go up
So
there.
he has tons of them. He has like a case. I think he bought like 2 cases of those.
He's the one. I thought this was really cool. He's the shop I got those really awesome Tamashii Nations from Bandai. Those flame effects.
Yeah.
Because I love my effects to really make a display pop. But he's the one I got those from.
Also, so he like tells me this story. He's like, thanks for being cool, for me, like me turning you down, not buying the figure. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, there's one guy, he wanted to sell me Pokemon cards. And he had these cards like Charizard and stuff like that from like Gen 1 Pokemon. And I looked at him, I looked at his cards, said no thank you because they were scratched up and stuff. And the guy just like, he's like, no thanks, I'm not interested. He's just like, you're lost, pal, and storms out of the store. I'm like, wow, talk about being like a douche, like just.
Right. Yeah. Like.
I mean, it's just like.
It's like when you watch Pawn Stars and whatnot. It's like
Right.
people. No one has to buy their
Exactly.
shit.
Exactly.
Plus, it's like when people do that, it makes all of us as like nerds. Like I consider nerd a very loving term in 2020
Right.
compared to what it was back in the day. It makes us all look bad.
I go in with zero expectations of
Right.
anything in life, but more like along the lines of like the chances of him wanting to buy something from me are the same chances of him not wanting to buy something.
He doesn't have to. At the end of the day, people like let's say on Pawn Stars when they'll bring in the expert and the expert will be like, oh, this item's worth 500, and people are like, oh, can I get 500? It's like no, because the shop at the end of the day has to make profit.
Right.
It's like you got to be efficacious enough. You're not going to an auction house. You're not going to eBay. Because eBay will take a percentage, auction house will take a percentage. So you want to come to a shop so you can get a good price. But then the shop owner also has to have in mind that they need to, they're not just a private collector. They want to then take that item and more than likely sell it unless something's so rare that they're going to add it to their collection. Like I remember one shop I sold a Frank Gorshin autograph, and he said he was going to put that in his personal collection of Batman.
Right.
And then it took me a hot minute to find one that I wanted for a fair price, but then I was fortunately able to get another Frank Gorshin autograph because Frank Gorshin, for those, I'm sure everyone knows, but for those who don't know, he was an impressionist from back in the day,
Right.
and he played the Riddler in the Batman 66 show, but he died in 2003, so obviously there's no new Frank Gorshin autograph, so to get one
Right.
that's at this point 17 years old, to me as a nerd, it made me so happy to re-get that because I'll admit it, like it's always good to see your stuff go to a new home, but then there's been a couple of times where I've sold something, that one in particular, where I'm like, oh, I miss it. And so if you miss something,
Yeah.
thank God for eBay.
Yeah, the internet has changed a lot of that around where you miss something, but then again, there's price gouging. You have to combat with that. But
yeah, specifically with build-a-figure pieces.
Right. All right. On to more updates. New Lego set was released as new Lego Ghostbusters Ecto 1 set off that ambulance-looking vehicle from Ghostbusters. Looks great. Lego always does a great job with their sets. Doing more adult-themed sets. They also are doing a Lego Coliseum set. It's going to be one of their biggest sets. It actually is releasing. Well, it releases on Black Friday, but this will be long after Black Friday when I get this all edited and done. A little bit of information on a new Lego Coliseum set. It has 9,036 pieces and will cost $550.
Woo!
Yeah, it's going to be one of the biggest
That's
sets
like
ever made.
Dude, that's more than a lot of Hot Toys.
Like a car payment for some people.
Sheesh, yeah, that's going to be
Or
like two or three
more than a
car
car
payments.
payment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being an adult, unfortunately, I've had to pass on the Batwing and the Batmobile.
Yeah, and these are all considered adult sets, folks. These are not considered have your kid play with sets. They're made to be put on the shelf and adorned. If you're a huge Ghostbusters fan, or if you like architecture with the Coliseum, just stuff like that. Lego is. They also making like a piano that is like a miniature piano, a piano set, and you can play the piano. Like
No
it's
way.
like yeah, it's like I don't know what the technology is called. I forget what it's called, but there's electronics in it. It has like some audio recording or something in it, and it sounds just like a piano. And also Lego is, and we'll get more into Lego later in the podcast, but they're releasing a Sesame Street set.
No way.
Yeah, they're doing like something every week now. It's getting nuts. Sesame Street set with Big Bird, Elmo, Cookie Monster, Oscar, Bert and Ernie, just trying to get. I mean, like people will say like, well, they're just they're like they just sell themselves out to licenses. Yeah, but there are people that will buy a Mickey Mouse castle or the Sesame Street set. Like
And a lot of that stuff goes up in value. Like
yeah, it does quickly too.
One of the more valuable sets that I've seen is when they did Simpsons a number of years ago. That Simpson house with like the Homer and Bart and stuff. I've been thought about. I remember one time I was like, man, that'd be kind of even though I don't really collect Lego, I was like, that'd be kind of a cool set. And then I see what it's going for on eBay, and it's pretty much as some of these Mezcos and these Hot Toys. Like, and then I know you said a lot of the older Star Wars and a lot of the older Harry Potter ones are worth a lot of money.
Here's an example of like the Lego market. Let's say I want that Diagon Alley set. It's like a $300 some set. And you know how long I have really to get it? And so like you can only get it in the Lego store. You know how long I have calendar wise I have?
Probably 2 to 3 weeks.
I have a year and a half.
Oh, so it's more than that.
It's really good. They're really good about that stuff. Like they keep it in store. They have the Stranger Things set still available. You can still get in Lego stores, and that came out like a year and a half ago to a year ago. So they're very like compromising on. There's a demand, and financially it helps people a lot better because if it's available more, people will be able to budget and stuff.
Lego, I'm so excited, and I really hope there's a season 3 of this. But my favorite shows on Netflix right now are easily Castlevania, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Amazing show, beautiful animation, and then The Toys That Made Us.
Yeah.
And The Toys That Made Us, I really hope they get renewed for season 3 because I think it's phenomenally done. But I remember watching the Lego episode.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating how intelligent that company is because they even talked about how in like '02 when Lego was struggling, and they were losing their market share, how the family who had owned Lego since the 20s or 30s in Norway, they made the good decision to the son, I think it was like, you know what, I'm going to retire and I'm going to have, I'm going to be in the background, and my family's going to be in the background, and we're going to let the CEO who ran other very successful companies, I want to say throughout Europe, we're going to let him run this company. And then obviously, like, they've boomed. What has Lego's done? Very successful video games. They've done lots of colleges do Lego, and then
movies.
The Lego Masters TV show is
that's a great
amazing.
Show. Yeah.
And then I think, what would you say is their most popular license? I'd say it's still Star Wars.
Star Wars. Because Harry Potter's close.
Because they've done, and then even they're doing Marvel now and DC.
Marvel,
and they're
also like one of their big ones is Lego City because people build their own Lego cities and customize their own. Like they'd have like a ping pong table like down here, and they just like turn that into a huge like those train sets, in their basement. People have in their basements. That's what people do with like Legos cities and stuff like that.
And it's funny because in my opinion, they're only like. Technically, Mega Bloks or Mega Constructs now it's called, is technically their competition, but obviously Lego still owns that market. But it's kind of fascinating because I feel like when they sign a lot of these deals, I could be wrong, but I feel like they're exclusive deals because I didn't know this till I was making the toys that made us, but He-Man was invented by Mattel to sell to boys.
Right.
And so Mega Bloks, obviously being a part of Mattel, Mega Bloks has He-Man on their license. But it's kind of funny because as far as competition to keep up with Lego, I think the smartest license that Mattel got for Mega Bloks was Pokemon. That was smart because I bought an Eevee just to check it out, and Mattel's doing a lot of good things to compete with Lego, but as pessimistic as it sounds, they will never be Lego because Lego invented that market.
Right.
But obviously, Lego knows they got to always constantly go on to the next thing because you have someone who's always going to be right with you. Even another Lego documentary I remember I watched, it's fascinating because one of Lego's molds could actually cost upwards of $20K. That's why one of the smartest things they did is how they have all those, they have so many bricks that they can just duplicate and just change colors.
Yeah.
But then some of the figures, like I'm sure the Hulk from like the Avengers sets, I'm sure that's a pricey mold.
Yeah.
I know you've told me that some people just collect the minifigures.
Yeah. There's always a collectability for it, and we'll get into that after I get through the update. Hasbro also releasing a new Mandalorian helmet, so if you need a new mask for the pandemic, you could just get yourself a Mandalorian accurate Beskar mask. I also think I don't know how metallic it'll look or how shiny it'll look. It's pretty realistic. I think there's also like a flashlight on the side you can like use, like it's like a light up flashlight. So that's really cool from the Black Series Mandalorian helmet. Other reveals: full wave of Marvel Legends Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse wave. Has the Peter Parker in the trench coat, Miles Morales, Hand Ninja. We talked about this last episode. The Frogman, the Prowler from the Miles Morales into the Spider-Verse figure from the movie, and Gwen Stacy with Spider-Pig. So that's your entire wave there. Also in that Spider-Ham. Why did I say Spider?
Spider-Pig's from the Simpsons movie.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you for that correction. And then also that builds up into Stiltman. We also discussed that last episode. You'll get to Red Hat Ninjas to make Stiltman tall as you want. But I am happy that they're making that happen.
That's such a good way to sell because people are going to army build those hand ninjas as we talked about before.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see. There's going to be some people that are going to try to make him just stupidly tall, make him like floor to ceiling. But I wonder how many you can put on him while still keeping him stable. It's going to be cool.
It's going to be tough because it's going to be top heavy. So it's going to be tough.
It'll probably be like 3 to 4, you'd say? 3 to 4 pieces of the leg.
Yeah, it's 2.
Yeah, you'll get
from each leg.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would probably get 2 Red Hand Ninjas and see how high you go there. I think that's a little more realistic. I don't know if I'll get 3, but I think 2 is going to be a good, because it's going to be pretty tall. So right. I think 2 would suffice.
Might have to invest in some stands or something.
Right. I mean, you could get 2. You could like cheat with a stand probably, and then you could get 3. 3 would probably be more realistic, like of how tall he can get. But like just for shelf space, I'm saying 2 would probably be you want to get 2 Red Hand Ninjas, and then it'll get him to his height. More Marvel Legend reveals. You get this deluxe Thanos. Comes with an alternate head. Also has snapping fingers. This is classic Thanos from the Infinity Gauntlet with classic colors from the comic book. He also comes with a chair to sit on, which is awesome. So there's a new Cyclops coming out, new Wolverine in brown and orange.
Wait, the Marvel Legends Thanos is going to come with a throne?
Yeah, it's what it looks like. I mean, based on what I see from the packaging, yeah, it looks like he will come with a throne. I think. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but I saw a throne advertised. I don't know if it'll come with him or if that's an exclusive thing or Hasbro Pulse thing or.
That would be a must-have at that point.
I think, based on what I see from the packaging, from the picture I'm looking at, it looks like he comes with a throne, but I can't be 100% sure.
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, and then there's a new, not Miss Marvel, a Jean Grey figure coming out with a green and gold costume, and also a new AIM Soldier coming out as well, and also another X-Men character from that new X-Men comic book that's released. I don't know this character's name, though. I'm not 100% sure. But the pictures will be up, and you'll be able to see the figure there. Also, Mondo released the new Wolverine figure, which I know that's right in your wheelhouse. You usually collect the Mondo figures. Kyle, you have Catwoman, and you also have Mr. Freeze. So let me ask you, and I think I know what your answer is going to be. Are you going to get the new Wolverine animated series Mondo toy?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah. Okay, so now you've heard it from the horse's mouth, folks.
We'll just call him Mr. Mondo. I don't know. I think it was started by one or two guys, but
Yeah.
I know they have an art gallery based in Austin, Texas, and I have a whole book of Mondo in the other room, but their artwork's beautiful, by the way. But anyways, they had pictures of their next Batman anime figure too, which is the Joker. Which maybe they'll give me my Condiment King, because unfortunately I don't know when I'm gonna get an animated Condiment King now.
Yeah, I mean the animated Wolverine from Mondo is 1/6 scale figure, non-bladed claws hands, so there's 2 pairs of that. Turkey leg, 3 head sculpts, 2 masked, 2 non-masked. A book or a pamphlet of some kind, and also an effect where in the beginning intro where he's kind of like unveils his Wolverine claws and he has that sparkle in like the main intro of the X-Men animated series. Obviously a well-made figure. I do like how he looks animated wise. I like the sculpt. I like the paint apps. I think the paint apps are the best thing about those figures. I wouldn't even really consider them really action figures, more of like art articulation sculpts. I mean, they're figures, but they're more like they're not considered like regular action figures or toys. They are their own kind of thing. It's kind of like art sculpts of these characters in a way. On the Hot Toys front, a couple of reveals. The new Venom Hot Toys figure from the movie comes with 2 alternate heads, Fear Piece, and then also additional symbiote head, also with multiple hands and a stand.
Nice, I didn't see that one.
You didn't see that one?
I saw
It's up on our Facebook page also for more images.
I saw the Marvel Zombies Deadpool one though.
Also, the Mandalorian comes with, you pretty much can guess, a jetpack, Baby Yoda, floatable carriage, his guns, his flame effects, additional hands. So that's a new Mandalorian hot toy figure released. New Spider-Man from the video game, Miles Morales, comes with lightning effects, scarf hat, changeable eyes, different webbing, a backpack with a cat inside, and also alternate hands.
I love how they're diversifying it now more than just movies. That looks cool.
Yeah, so that's from the video game. Also has lightning effects, if I didn't mention that too. He also has socks and backpack, hat, and scarf, kind of doing that kind of stuff. So those are the 3 Hot Toys reveals. If you want to catch more images, check out our Facebook page at Talking Toys. Also, if you are having trouble finding us on YouTube, just look for us and type in the Talking Toys podcast and channel. That's another way to find us. And also, to mention a couple more things about our channel, we'll also have more shorts coming and also more from our documentary series. You've seen the Toy Biz one is out right now, and also the Kenner Toys one. It's a stories of toy companies, short documentary about the toy companies that have came and gone, but also toy companies that are here as well. The next one I'm making is going to be about Funko Pops. Or Funko's the company, right?
Yeah, Funko. I don't think it's on Netflix anymore either, but they had a Making Fun, the documentary of Funko.
Yeah.
And Funko actually looks like it's in Everett, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
It actually looks like a fun place to work.
Yeah, so that's what the next documentary I'm going to make on that one, off stories of toy companies. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the channel. Your support helps us go a long way. Even comment what's your favorite toy brands, toy companies, what new releases you're excited about. If you have any questions also, feel free to ask under the comments section any questions you have about certain products. We'll be more than happy to answer them. If you're new to the channel, also welcome. Need as many views and subscribers. And also, carrying on with more reveals, we will also have a Moff Gideon Black Series 6-inch figure from The Mandalorian. Comes with that dark black lightsaber. Also, we will also get Grief Karga action figure 6-inch form. And we will also get Cool, I'm trying to pronounce his name, figure. He's the guy that I have spoken in the show, and so you're gonna get a 6-inch Cruel a 6-inch Grief Karga, and Moff Gideon action figure. Probably all going to be in the same wave. 6-inch action figures from Star Wars, the Black Series from Hasbro. So those are Black Series Mandalorian figures. Any interest in those?
As of now, I don't know. I have not had the opportunity to watch more than one episode, so perhaps. I am a real Star Wars fan. I'm just busy.
And the new Transformers Blackbird from Hasbro, which is it's like a cross promotional thing between a Transformer and the Black X-Men Blackbird jet, is going to be released by Hasbro. It's pretty cool. It kind of looks like Cyclops. It turns into like a Transformer, but also can turn into the X-Men jet. Comes with 2 minifigures, Sabretooth and Wolverine. What do you think about those?
That's somewhat tempting because to me that's a throwback to Toy Biz because Toy Biz did these weird Transformers type mashups too, even though they didn't have the Transformers license, and it would just be like Ghost Rider would turn into this weird mecha robot thing. So that's a possibility because it could blend in really well with my Gundam display.
Yeah.
Even though I don't necessarily care about Transformers, it could look cool. Maybe. I mean, I will never say no to cool looking figures, and I love Marvel. I don't give a shit about Transformers, but if I could blend it in with how I do my various mechas, like the various Gundams, why not?
It is cool. I
It
mean,
also depends on the price. It'll probably be like what, 20?
I don't know what the price is. But I mean, maybe something around there. I mean, they did one with the Ecto one with the Ghostbusters mobile. They do a good job with that cross promotional stuff. It's really neat. I like how the X Jet looks.
I think the Ecto one was pretty popular too, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, yeah. So there's that coming out, and also the new Macfarlane Dark Father Build a Figure wave comes out with like this Dark Robin King. I wish I could tell you all the characters, but I'm just gonna give you my best guess because I'm currently reading Dark Knight's Death Metal right now. Comes with this Dark Robin King, which I think is the Dark Father, which is the Build a Figure. Wonder Woman Death Metal with her Chainsaw of Truth. Batman with a like red rock and roll guitar. A Superman from Death Metal with like a gray fist, but also like a chain belt, and also I think it's like a Dark Side Batman. That's another figure they're releasing. So that's from Macfarlane Toys. Any thoughts on that as our final update for that?
It's weird to say this as Batman is my favorite character in all of nerdom, but I feel like it's not necessarily Todd McFarlane's doing, but I feel like DC Comics, because I know I remember he said when he first got the license, he has to talk it over with DC Comics and they both work on together on what characters he's going to create. I feel like they're trying so hard to just push this down our throat, and I know he only has a 3-year license, and I think he's gone through 1 year of the license already. And even as a diehard Batman fan, he needs to do more than just Batman and Superman. Like I want him. He's done no Aquaman. I want him to do.
Yeah, he's only done one
I want him to.
license. I mean, did a couple Flash figures, but everything's been off a Batman storyline.
Right. Like he's done some random stuff. Like he's done Cyborg. Ironically, I say this as someone who's really excited for his Flashpoint Batman, but it's just like he's done some things, but it's just like there's just been no consistency, and there's been like it's just weird, like no Aquaman and whatnot, no classic characters, a lot of the Dark Knight medals. With that being said, the idea of Wonder Woman having a chainsaw is a strong possibility. I just still, even though I bought a couple of his figures, like I bought Devastator, because obviously Devastator being taller can work in with a lot of things.
Yeah.
It still bugs me the fact that Devastator is the same size as some of his other figures. I don't like that. You never know. What about you?
I mean, I'll ask you one more question. Do you think the line is doing well enough? Do you think the line is selling well enough? That's what I meant.
It's hard to tell because Walmart doesn't have. When I went to Walmart today, they had none on the pegs,
Yeah.
but I think certain ones are. Like for example, they had one of the new wave with the build a figure of the Merciless, and I snagged up the Robin.
Yeah.
because I do think certain ones will sell. I think that Robin will sell well because that Robin goes with the Batman Who Laughs. But I think for me, for the most part, it just depends on what it was. Like the Batman Who Laughs, I think was like one of the hot ones, but then his John Stewart from Justice League looked like doo doo.
Yeah, those animated figures did sit on the pegs well.
All of the animated figures that he's done look like absolute garbage. No offense,
Right,
Todd
right.
McFarlane, except for the Cyborg. The Cyborg looks really good.
I just don't think they're in as much demand as Marvel Legends because the scale is one of them and people still won't. I mean, we've talked about this countless times, so I won't spend too much time on it. But the scale is another one. I think the paint apps and sculpt is great, but it's the scale, and I think just you're not diversifying your brand. It's always Batman, Batman, Batman. Some Justice League characters, more Wonder Woman, occasional Superman here or there, and it's just those you're just stuck in that rut of the same characters over and over and over
Well,
again.
plus the one thing too that I remember Talker Art talked about when he first got the license, and I remember Shartimus Prime asked him the same question. Like, people want his version of Batman. They want that Todd McFarlane stylized version.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
still haven't made that.
yeah, like I don't know if it's him holding it back or if it's Warner Brothers slash DC Comics holding it back for what he's allowed to certain things he can and can't do, but like you've drawn Batman before. I want your Batman in the same way as Marvel Legends and Toy Biz did McFarlane style Spider-Mans.
Mhm.
Because it's like people, the one thing I do under when he talked about trying to justify his 7 inch when he talked about like, well, some people collect everything Superman. That's true, for some people, but obviously I think most people like I remember the one thing you tagged me in a while ago where it showed like when they released that new Joker was when someone made a joke on the meme when they put that air quote bubble and it said it scales with nothing
Right.
because it really doesn't. But
It
some of
doesn't. It just doesn't fit in well, and people are sticklers with why it doesn't fit in with Marvel Legends, but
it
close.
it's like Marvel Select where it's like people are not going to, because people already have the Mattel figures and whatnot, and they have the import figures. People are not going to buy as much as they would if it was in a scale that fit in with the old school, was fit in with their Marvel Legends or whatnot. Because like I've been very selective, as you know, I've only bought Devastator, Batman Who Laughs, and then this Robin from Earth 22 because they they're some of them are just too damn tall.
Right. And also, Marvel Select released a new Titanium Man. I forget the guy's name who was in the armor, but the new Titanium Man from Marvel Select looks awesome from the classic Iron Man comics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that
it
a
does.
Disney Store exclusive or
I don't know. I just know that it's coming out, and I,
that?
I think a lot of people are. It's got a lot of great traction. I like that kind of style, the vintage style stuff like that.
And you can the fact that you can unmask him too, I thought was a nice touch.
Right, and it should fit in with your Marvel Legends. He is usually giant compared to Iron Man. Iron Man's kind of smaller compared to Titanium Man because that's kind of like he's like a Russian rival. In that comic book series, Russia made the bigger armor, and I was like, oh, he's bigger. Oh, can he fight Iron Man? And Iron Man kind of just outwits him,
Oh yeah,
and he maneuvers better because he's not as big and bulky.
I'm so excited to put him in scale with my Crimson Dynamo Build-A-Figure because I definitely am a big fan of the bigger armors because
Yeah.
then you can have like some of the different Iron Mans that I have. Like I like Iron Man being smaller than his villains, and
Yeah.
I hope this trend continues because I have a big Crimson Dynamo now, and then having a big Titanium Man. I just can't lie. I'm impatient, and
Yeah.
it doesn't come out till next May, and I want it now.
Yeah, I mean, like Marvel Select, I'll give them credit. They're more detailed figures lately, doing a good job. I mean, no, they're not 6 inch, but you do get what's worth the money from those figures. And moving on to our first topic, we did talk a little bit about this already, but Legos. Talk about Legos and how they've changed as a company. They first started as like a wooden toy company. If you don't know the story of Lego, older gentleman. First, it was trying to sell wooden toys, and then they finally invented, as time went on, a red brick that could interlock with other bricks that had 3 holes on the bottom that were like a different type of block, which the blocks interlocked with one another and could not easily come apart. Many companies have tried copying this method. It hasn't worked as well as Lego has. Lego, probably the leading toy company right now, with just multiple licenses such as Harry Potter, Star Wars, Ghostbusters, Stranger Things, Marvel, DC. They do architecture stuff from certain cities like San Francisco, Coliseum. They do special things like special sets from Stranger Things and Ghostbusters. Just your quick view on Lego as a company. You kind of touched up on this before. Just were you more of like one or the other? Like a lot of people either grew up with Playmobil or grew up with Lego. Did you grow up with any of those two brands, or what are your thoughts on Lego?
I I like Lego. I because of having to choose what I like as far as like toy companies, I have to choose different brands I like, and I've just decided not to get Lego because it is very expensive, and I'd rather invest that capital in other figures and other brands. But looking at Lego from afar, they do a fantastic job. They really do. I can't find the updated version for 2019 or 2020 yet,
Yeah.
but it's a Lego is the top brand in the entire world as far as toy companies go. And number two behind them, not a lot of people know this, is Bandai Namco.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is a surprise. I didn't know this. I don't know if they're owned by someone else or if they're just on their own, but Fisher Price is number three.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then it's funny because just individual brands by themselves, Gundam, which I collect, is number 10. Hot Wheels is still in the top 10. But one of the things they do that's weird in this list is they have Mattel as a whole at number 9,
Mm-hmm.
but then they have Barbie at 4 and Hot Wheel at 8, which is interesting because Mattel owns Hot Wheels and Barbie. So it's weird how they break it up like that. But then they got Hasbro in the top 10. But yeah, Lego is number 1, and then Bandai Namco is number 2.
Yeah.
Lego, I think this is how much they made. This is crazy to me. Lego in 2018 made, let's see, 7,571 million,
Yeah.
and then Bandai compared to number two is 1,038 million. So Lego is literally murdering the competition.
I mean, yeah, like their distribution and their warehouse. If you ever seen videos on their warehousing, is crazy accurate, crazy efficient, crazy huge.
Oh yeah, because like 7,571 million compared to 1,038 million,
Right,
that's like almost that's a little over $5 million or 5,000 million, however you would say that
right.
that dollar amount more than second place, and it's funny because most of the companies on this list, or all I should say all of the companies on this list, are either American companies or Japanese companies, except for Lego, which takes the top spot, which is Norwegian. But it is kind of crazy when you just look at how they've diversified their portfolio too. Like we've talked about earlier, video games, very successful movies.
Yeah.
I can't lie, I'm the only person on earth who hated the Lego Batman movie. I really did. But it's funny because even like after the Lego Batman movie, uh, Playmobil came out with a movie and it bombed because
Yeah,
Playmobil is just not the same as Lego.
it's not. Playmobil is Dutch. They're a Dutch company.
Really, I did not know
If
that.
you go down to Amish country in Ohio, they have a lot more Playmobil down there.
Really?
Yeah, there's like the toy stores are filled with Playmobil stuff. So it's more of a popular product down there, kind of. But a little brief history on Lego. The name Lego is an abbreviation of the two Danish words leg and got, meaning play well. It is the name. That's what it means. It was founded in 1932 by Ole Kirk Christensen. It's a family company. It's passed from father to son, and it's now owned by Kjeld Kirk Christensen, grandchild of the founder. And yeah, they just keep one of their first things they got into was like a wooden like duck on a leash that was on wheels. So they did like wooden toys at first. And now they're like the largest manufacturer of toys. They're in like pretty much every country in Europe and the United States and Japan and China, and they keep making great like products, and they've expanded, like what you said. Like I watched the Lego show. That's an awesome show. It's become a hobby. People create their own cities. That's another thing. They do like this city brand where people can make the sets off the city brand, but also customize their own cities.
And it's like my Gundam models I build and the Dragon Ball models I build, where it's like people can do some crazy stuff where they can do what's known as kit bashing, which for those who don't know, kit bashing is where you just take pieces from different kits, and you can just create something just new and exciting and just different. And it's just the one thing I love about things like Legos and then like models like the Gundam models and whatnot is it really is good for adults and kids alike because it teaches you cognitive brain skills,
Right.
which
Follow
follow
directions.
directions.
And you can use that skill in so many things, like just following like directions. You use that as an adult, like if you have to put together a ping pong table or a piece of furniture and stuff. You're still attributing those skills throughout your whole life. So yeah, I mean, like I remember like in the '90s sets, the early sets like were like the fort with Indians and cowboys
Those are
and
cool.
soldiers.
The Lego City ones where you could like get a fire truck. Because I had
Yeah.
a couple as a kid, and it's like I can't lie. Wherever I go, Target, Walmart, wherever,
Yeah.
I see so many of these beautiful sets, and like,
I mean, they have their own aisle. It's commanding in and of itself just for one toy company brand.
and I can't lie, I just get really tempted because, like, one of the things I saw, I think it was last year, was they had that life-size Lego BB-8,
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh my god, because even though the new Star Wars series for the most part sucked,
Yeah.
I really liked BB-8. I thought the aesthetic was awesome,
Yeah.
and I just sit there and I'm just like. I know though,
I
if
mean,
I know though with my personality though, if I get one Lego, then I know I'm gonna love it, and then I'm gonna have to go on to the next Lego, and I don't want to collect a lot of
yeah,
Lego.
because you get once you're in, you can't get out, and it's like weird because it's like they like I remember like they had pirates for a while, a
Oh, those were
castle.
cool. Yeah,
Those were cool.
the
They had
castle.
like native like Mayan tribal people for a
I don't
while.
remember those ones.
Yeah, I mean like they had like other things. They had like an Indiana Jones type of character.
Do you remember the
Uh,
one of the weirdest ones they had, which was also pretty successful for a while, was Bionicle?
Bionicle was one. Yeah, it was a popular pro. I had like the first series, like a couple of them. I had the ice one, the fire one, and I think my brother had the blue one, but that was all the ones I
I think
had.
I had the blue one too. It was
Yeah.
they were they were pretty cool. They had some video games with it. They had some movies, but then eventually people just stopped caring about Bionicle. But
Yeah.
and I
It had a
remember,
good run though.
oh yeah, before internet was as like God, this is gonna make us seem so old, but back in like the late '90s, early 2000s, I remember as a kid loving to get the Lego magazine, and you would just
Yeah.
like
I got mine the other day actually
it would just
for holidays.
like some of those sets you would just see. One of the coolest ones was when you and I know universities and high schools alike still do this, especially for like engineering degrees.
Yes, that
But
is true.
the Legos with like the motors and stuff is so cool. Like,
Yeah, and yeah, you could have like electric train running around the town and stuff like that. So that they do add like certain stuff like that. I remember they had like Lego Egyptian stuff for a while. But like the brand I'm into constantly buying is Harry Potter. So I have like multiple sets from like the first couple movies from when the movies first came out. And I even collect sets still to this day. Some are updated, some are updated and I don't need to collect because I already have that set and I don't see the point of rebuying it.
your the cool mystery mini sets or
Yes.
that they are they going to do any more Lord of the Rings or Hobbit?
Unless the Amazon show gets back into popularity, they can redo those sets if the demand is there. They might test it. They like Star Wars is the top brand, and then the Harry Potter's like a close second because they still make Harry Potter ones now. Right now, I'm collecting also like the mystery blind bag figures where they make these exclusive figures where you feel the bag and then you guess what figure it is, and then you can say like, oh, I got this little figurine and stuff like that, and that's good. And like you get stuff like that, and you get exclusive figures and Disney figures, and they got like now they have stuff like where you could put your Legos in certain stuff, and they have keychains, and it's like style stuff and like bags. It's a little more like you could get like a laptop bag that looks like a Lego brick or something like that, and storage bins and stuff like that. So it's like really that's also an adult hobby where they have the architecture stuff for like like if you just like are a fan of architecture, like they have a White House set, a Statue of Liberty set, like a mini architecture of the San Francisco skyline. So they got like it's so diverse and wide variety of interest. They do such a great job. It's like, well, there's no stopping them. I mean, it's hard to believe that in the 90s that they almost went bankrupt, and it was the fact that they got the Star Wars license to save them. So,
Yeah.
and like that really is like that's what people wanted because they didn't evolve. Kids wanted stuff from the movies, and that's where they evolved. And kids don't want fire trucks and police cars forever, so they really took that step there. They just are constantly what they are today. And in 2018, they celebrated 60 years. They're from Denmark. They have like a huge, like multiple huge facilities. I think that they're the largest employer in Denmark. It's pretty interesting. Not a lot of companies are like that or as big. I mean, yeah, you can't really name another company that's like that. And there's been companies that just they try to copy like and they fail. Like Mega Bloks is close to Lego, but they don't really have a very good interlocking brick system that doesn't interlock, so it's easy to tear down. Or they're more fragile than Lego bricks and Lego sets and stuff like that. So I mean, I also saw on the Toys That Made Us, they also have like an archive of every set they ever produced. And it's like a movable drawer, and it's like every set from that year, and each like movable wall drawer is each has like contains this box or the set itself. So they even have like an awesome archive like that. So I mean, closing up on Lego, they minifigures and their the paint sculpts and the facial features and just changing things like that. Super innovative, super cool. Which you brought up my blind bags from the Harry Potter Lego series I collect, which was featured in one of my shorts. Moving on to our next topic, blind box toys and blind bag toys. Do you have a certain brand, Kyle, that you're interested in with blind boxes, blind bags, mystery things? A lot of people do those monthly boxes. That's kind of like a mystery thing, also, but those monthly, quarterly boxes are one of them. But some people like to feel what they need and the ones they want. People cherry pick or they want to collect them all. Any certain brands or ones that you collect?
It's kind of funny. I got these oh, now I'm forgetting the Spin Master Batman mystery figures. And it's funny because I picked up four. I got King Shark and Joker, but the two I mostly wanted were Bane and Batman Beyond, and I got those. And it's kind of tempting to still go back and get the Penguin
Yeah.
because that one looks cool, but those ones look cool. I've got a couple Funko mystery minis because Funko does a really good job. As far as boxes go, I have Geek Fuel, and I think they usually have really good shirts, but lately Geek Fuel's been boring me, so I'll probably cancel them after December. And I really like my quarterly box from Culture Fly from DC Comics.
Yeah.
This next box is going to be, it has a zip up hoodie of classic Green Arrow, which I'm really excited about. I like when they do spoilers. But for me, obviously, like when it comes to nerdy boxes, like Geek Fuel for the most part lately, like I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, and then I'm not a big Gremlins fan, and those are going to be in the boxes. But the thing with mystery boxes is it's tough. It just depends on it. I know my girlfriend gets a mystery box, FabFitFun, and
Mhm.
it has makeup and girl things, and she's able to a certain degree to customize her box. But with the nerdy boxes I get, I can't really customize between a few items. But it just depends. I know one I've thought about getting was I thought about getting the uh, the Nickelodeon box. They've had some really cool stuff in there, and I've thought about it at one point. I used to get Marvel Collector Core through Loot Crate,
Yeah.
and I've thought about trying that again because this next month is Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
That one's also quarterly, so there are some really cool ones.
Yeah, I remember you got that Doctor Strange robe. That was interesting.
Yeah, and
I
I've gotten some cool little artwork. Like I showed you the mini canvas from Thay Mascara. It's weird though with the boxes. Like for example, the DC box. This last one was amazing. It was all Batman themed and
Yeah.
stuff. So I got a like a Damien statue figure, a Joker clock. I got a bunch of stuff I liked. But in the previous box with Wonder Woman, The only thing I liked was this canvas print of a, like a tourism type style poster of Thay Mascara.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I hated the shirt. It was an interesting concept, but you know, I didn't like it. I don't like busts, so they did a bust instead of a statue, and it was interesting to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick one of those like monthly, quarterly boxes, I think I'd go with the Nickelodeon one just because it's so different and you get cool things from that, and it's also from my childhood. So that would be like my choice. I don't know if you could get it quarterly, some of them were monthly, but I do remember one of the first mystery things I ever did with you was when we did those little balls and little figures came in them, the Zerbaz brand, where they had a couple of different like they were like mini little figures. I put them on my car dash on my old car, and you can get like they had like a Dark Knight wave with the Dark Knight characters. They had some DC comic book characters. They also had some Marvel comic book characters as well, Avengers from the movie. So they were really big for a time. I remember that was the first time I did anything mystery uh, toy collecting, like we had to guess what was inside. And occasionally we would kind of like squish the ball and try to peek what was inside. And we would do that until we got the right figures. But I think the hard part about mystery collecting toys is that as you go, you don't know what you're getting, but also it's harder to find just the holes. You're trying to plug up those holes as you get more figures and stuff like that. Did you have a certain one that you collected in the past that was your favorite, or you have a certain one like now that you're collecting that is favorite?
Not really.
No. Usually the people like to know what they're buying. It's kind of like baseball, or not baseball, just like card collecting. You don't know what you're getting until you open it up, and it's a risk and a gamble. I mean, like even like me, I go into McDonald's just trying to. I'm still collecting those Marvel Studio McDonald's toys. Now I got to get the rest of them on eBay, but for a while you have to stop at McDonald's, and so many McDonald's carry some of the same ones. Like a lot of them carried the Hulkbuster, a lot of them carried and the Hulk. So yeah, those McDonald's Marvel Studio toys from Happy Meal toys, I collected those, and so you go into McDonald's, and occasionally some of them have different ones and some of them don't, but that's kind of a mystery thing in of itself. But apparently it's really big because it seems like they have like their own half aisle now in like a Target and stuff like that. And so many companies will make so many different versions of certain Marvel characters or DC characters or characters from a movie and stuff like that. And now they have like stuff like these like minifigure. I forget the company's name, but they have like the die cast characters, but you see what you're buying now. They're very similar to the Zerbaz company. You get a whole array of characters, but you see what you're buying. Yeah, I mean it's always a risk, and you're just trying to plug in the holes and whatnot. It gets harder as you go, but that's like the same with almost anything, even like with action figure collecting. Like it's hard to get that last figure the more you wait because it sometimes becomes more rare, or the one you thought was going to be common becomes rare. That's true for me, like with the Spider-Man retro animated series, Marvel Legends line. I can't find Spider-Man, and that's the only one I need. It's become the hardest figure right now to get. I can't find it online anywhere. I can't find it in stores. Just the regular Spider-Man. But yeah, I mean, I thought that would have been the common one, and I think that one had two per case, but now it's like hard to find, and you can't find it on any website. Kyle, I literally looked like 7 to 10 sites, and I still couldn't find it. I mean, it's crazy how in demand some figures are compared to others. So, anything more to add to that topic?
No, off the top of my head, I've seen Spider-Man on eBay for like $45, but I'm just like, y'all suck.
Yeah, that's price gouging at its finest, and it's like, nah, I don't want it for that much. I mean, it's ridiculous. All right, so that ends our episode 17 of Talking Toys. That's Blind Box Toys and Legos. Hope you enjoyed our episode. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, and we will also get an Instagram account started for all you non-Facebook people. Just have another outlet for you to see our updates. If you want to see more updates, check us out on Facebook. It's just under Talking Toys. If you want to find us on YouTube, go to the Talking Toys podcast /channel. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's hear from you. Let's hear what you have to say about the toys you like. Maybe blind boxes, Legos, childhood toys. You have any questions for us? Feel free to ask. I mean, me and Kyle are like toy collecting experts. We have no problem answering your questions. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not familiar with it, it's just talking toys, and we're just talking about collectibles, action figures, Legos, any toy brand. Everybody's welcome. If you don't like something, you feel free to comment and explain why. If you like something, well, feel free to explain that too. We are like one of the more critical toy channels and podcasters. This isn't just another toy news channel, and this isn't just another toy review channel. So make sure to hit that like, subscribe button, comment if you will. You guys help us grow. It's the reason why we do this. And just trying to keep you up to date on all the news as it comes out weekly. Check us out on Facebook for all the updates. Also, our next episode will be in December. Look forward to come out maybe late December, early next year, between Christmas and New Year's, as I usually release another podcast coming out between Christmas and New Year's. The next episode will be about collecting ornaments. Christmas ornaments, Hallmark ornaments, maybe you're making your own ornaments. Just collecting ornaments, how rare that is as its own collecting community. It's similar to toys because they look similar. They almost look like toys themselves in some ways. They have functions. They have speaking functions, light up functions, Wi-Fi connection and stuff like this. Some of them play music. So collecting ornaments is also a big thing for people who are in hit those Hallmark stores. I know I collect a couple ornaments. I'm very selective on that. So that's a good one for Christmas in the month of December. Also, we'll be pivoting a little bit and just talking about our favorite comic book stories and just talking about comic books. Not all of them, but a lot of them are based off comic books and stories and characters. And why not talk about that and have a discussion about that? So closing out this episode, I'm Brock Lauer.
I'm Kyle Walters.
And happy toy hunting, folks.